Alrighty, hello everyone. This is 4.1 Translations and Rotations. We will start with our first definition, translations. Translations, they move every point of a figure the same distance and direction. And if you remember this partially maybe from middle school, translation has SL in it, so I think SL, I think of slide. So it slides over to the left or to the right or up or down. Same distance, same direction. A component form is written in an example like this. Note these are not parentheses. This is just an example of 5-2. This means that it moves the figure or shape or line, okay? So this means it moves the figure 5 to the right, okay? It's to the right, it's positive, so to the right, positive 5 means it's to the right, and down 2, because it's negative 2. This can also be said as you add 5 to the x value and subtract 2 from the y value. Okay, so that is component form, written like this, where something you deal with your x and your y. Now an image is the new figure after the translation. Okay, so that also can be written an example like A prime. A prime, that is the image. So if I started on one way and I moved it over, I slid up or down or left or right, the new image would be that figure prime. So that is what this means, prime. Now a pre-image is the original figure. Before the translation, okay? Also written as just A. So this is before, your image is after. A, then A prime. Okay? So those are definitions on translations and rotations. So let's start off with our first example. We are going to translate the figure x to the left 6 and y up 8. So give the coordinates of the new point. Okay? So let's just look at what A, B, C, D, and E are. Let's look at the original, the pre-image. So this is the pre-image. Okay? So our pre-image is 2 for A, is 2, -3. For B, it's 2, -8. C is 8, -8. And D is 8, -3. And E is 5, -5. Okay? So that's the pre-image. Those are my coordinate points here. So now it says for A prime, B prime, C prime, etc., we need to move our x value over to the left 6 or subtract it. So this way we take 2. For example, we took 2 minus 6. And then for our y value, we take -3 plus 8. And so our new coordinate point is -4, 5. Okay, and we'll do that for each one. So my new x value here is 2 minus 6, so I end up with -4. And to take the y value, -8 plus 8, which is 0. And I do the same for each one. Oh, we're still recording. Anyway. Alrighty. Apologize for the wait. Just had a knock on the door. So for D, we'll do the same thing. So 2, 0, I have 2, 5, and you have -1, 3. Okay? So those are my new coordinate points. So I'm going to graph them. So I have -4, 5, 5. That's A prime. B is -4, 0. Or B prime is -4, 0. E is -1, 3. And then let's look at D, which is 2, 5. And E, or in C is 2, 0. So that is my new figure translated. Alrighty, so that was our first example. Now let's look at example 2. Example 2 says describe each translation with a rule. So let's look at from A to B. From A to B, have 10, -5. This rule is by using x plus 10 and y minus 6. All I did was translate. Let's say we were looking at this one. I'm going to translate downward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I translated down 5. Okay. I put 6. Should be a 5. So I translated down 5. Okay. And then I went over actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it would be 10 values. So from B to D, I did 2 to -6, or, parentheses, x plus 2, or y minus 6. From D to C, I went from -12 to -1, or this can also be written as x minus 12, y minus 1. This is where I'm taking certain parts, and I'm going to count from one point to the other point. Okay? So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So from this point to this point, I went over X amount of times, I went down 5 amount of times. Okay? This is where I got 10, and this is where I got 5. Okay? To get to this point. Okay? And we'll go over that more as the class later on. Alrighty, so our packet got a little confused today, and so you're going to go to the second to last page, and it'll start off with this part. It says example 3. It's the second to last page that we have here, and it starts off with example 3, plotting the points. So this is 4.1 continued. Okay, 4.1 continued. So if you look here, we have plot the points A, B, C, and D. So we plot the points A, B, C, and D. And it says connect the points in order, and then translate the figure x plus 2, y, or x plus 2, y plus 1. Draw the segments, and then what type of figure have we made? So let's go ahead and create our graph. So we have A, we have -2, -2. B is -2, -1, or -2, 1. C is 1, 1. And D is 1, -2. So we definitely have a nice little square here. A, B, C, and D. Okay? And this is translate the figure x plus 2 and y plus 1. So I'm going to take each of those points. So I have -2, -2. So when I translate that figure, I'll have -2 plus 2. Okay? And then I'll have -2 plus 1. So I have that, I have 0, and then my new coordinate point here is -1, and I'll do that for each of them. So if you look at the new image that we have, if we attach the image to the pre-image, we end up with the figure of a cube. Moving on to rotations. Rotation, think of the T in rotation as turn. And so we're turning a figure around a fixed point. When we have a center of rotation, that is the fixed point. Okay. If you look down towards the bottom, we have a coordinate rules for rotations about the origin. So when the point AB is rotated counterclockwise, so think going over to the left, about the origin, we are following true. The following rules are true. So for here, we have B, -A. It will rotate to a -A, -B. So this is where if we had something like 3, -7, and we rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, then it turns into -7, 3. So these hold true, so I would note this part when we talk about rotations. Okay? So go back to our previous page. Note this was the second to last page for 4.1. So go back to where we continued. So we have two types of rotations. Two types of rotations. So if we're rotating this way about the origin, that is clockwise. Now if we're going to the left of the origin, it is counterclockwise. So determined by degrees, 90 degrees, think of a circle, and it's divided into 4 parts. Okay? So 90 degrees here would be 1/4 of the pie. So it would be a 1/4 of a turn. If we did 180, that's half a turn. For 270, that's 3/4 of the pie. So 3/4 of a turn. And if we went full 360, that's 1 full turn. Okay, so let's look at example 4. It says describe each rotation. This one I went from A and I rotated counterclockwise and I laid it flat. So I did 90 clockwise if I'm going to the right, but if I was going to the left, I went all the way around 270 degrees. So for B, if I was looking at from this point to the next point, I went 270 degrees clockwise, but I went 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I took this point and I went over to the left, 270 degrees clockwise. Now let's do the same for C. From here, I went completely upside down. So either way, I did 180 degrees. Towards the bottom, we have example 5. It says draw the resulting triangles when the triangle is rotated 90, 180, and 270 degrees. So let's look at A, B, and C. So A is -4, 2. B is -7, 7. And C is -3, 9. Okay? So if I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, this is where I'm taking -BA to AB, and this is following the rules on the previous page. A prime is 2, 4, B prime is 7, 7, and C prime is 9, 3. So let's plot our points. We have 2, 4. B prime and C prime is 9, 3. Okay. Now, let's rotate it about 180 degrees. So we'll take -BA, and we turn it to B -A. So A double prime is 4, -2. B double prime is 7, -7. And C prime is 3, -9. So now when I plot those points, I'll have 4, -2. Now let's rotate this about 270 degrees. So I take -BA, turns it to -A, -B. So A triple prime is now -2, -4. B triple prime is -7, -7. And C triple prime is -9, -3. So applying those points, I have A, -2, -4. So there we are with our rotations. We started off here, rotated one more, and rotated the last time. Alrighty, and that's our final example for 4.1. If you go over to the next page, we have practice A and B, and I will give you further instructions on that. This will be your homework and also be completed with a stamp on it. Thank you so much.